On the bench, Sam Wilde, McGrath Luluai, Jordan Johnston and Owen Farnworth. As the game is underway, Chris Kendall is the referee, and Widnes really do need a good start here. They've got a good record in Perpignan in recent years. They haven't got a good record in recent games. And if they're going to get something out of this game, Tony Ray alongside me, then a good start is important.
Very much so. They'll be full of energy, you'd think, to start this game. When you lose a coach during the week, you tend to be very attentive to the messages of the new coach, and they'll be really responding to that now. I think we'll see that in the early parts of that. The Catalan side will be aware of that, and they look aware of that. They're coming off the line. They're putting some good energy into their defence. Tidy opening set by both sets as we look to the fifth tackle.
And Catalan may be a bit frustrated to see Huddersfield winning at Leeds last night, because if that result had gone for them, they could squeak into the top 8 with a victory in this game. But Huddersfield, of course, themselves on a great run of form, winning at Leeds to put themselves in a top 8 position at the moment. So it could be that the 4 who go into the qualifiers come from this group of 5 at the bottom of the table. Widnes' hopes of escaping that section of the season, of making the top 8, really are pretty flimsy, and they do need a victory here in Perpignan. Here is Remy Casti, who has been in outstanding form for the Catalan Dragons in recent weeks. That's the 5th tackle, and the ball with Gigot, who hoists a high kick. It doesn't get much distance on it, and it bounces over the head of Patrick Arvan. Eventually, the Widnes winger returns towards his own try line to collect the ball.
Yeah, classic rugby league there. The bounce of the ball really helped Tony Gigot. It was an awful kick. It really needed to be rewarded. It was a great set from their forwards. Very simple opening part for the Catalan side. Just driven forward, keeping it simple. Both sides very much feeling each other out early.
Widnes, as mentioned, missing so many key players, and short on experience as well. Tom Olberson, who individually having a good season for the Vikings, playing the ball there. The Chapelhow twins forming the front row. Jay Chapelhow tackled. Aaron Jeremiah, he has got experience. Danny Craven puts the kick in straight into the arms of Tony Gigot, and Gigot starts the return for the Catalan Dragons. Widnes with this good recent record against the Catalan Dragons, but they're looking for their first away win of this season, having lost all 5 away in Super League. So it doesn't bode well for the longest journey of the season.
It doesn't, but and 3 tackles in, you'd have to say Catalan so far, as we see the first little half break through by Moa. Catalan do look in front in this game. They look more physically dominant in the contest. They're dominating field position. They can dominate with this kick. This could set up the opening parts of the game very much in Catalan's favour.
Here's Josh Drinkwater. That is a good little dink over the top by Drinkwater, and good defence by Joe Mellor. Did well then, because Drinkwater was on the chase.
He read that beautifully. There was a space in behind. That's the perfect outcome. They've been driving forward nicely, and they've just dominated to get a nice repeat set here. You'd say there'd be a fair chance given their dominance. This was maybe an offload needed inside this set, that we could see the first points coming for Catalan.
It's a very hot day. Temperature's been up in the high 20s in the last few days in that part of France. Lovely if you're down on Canet Plage, making the most of it. Maybe not so much fun if you're out there on the pitch at the Brutus, having to face the likes of Mikel Simon. Whoa, revved up for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what they've been doing. They've been physically dominating the Widnes pack here. Moa's been doing it. That's great run as well, charging forward. Greg Bird's your key. Greg Bird's the man that can really dominate this set. Look for him now with the ball in 13.
There he is, and Bird just moves it on. And here is David Mead, but Mead heading towards that sideline. Good defence. Danny Craven involved. Tierney. Here is Remy Casti, playing in this loose forward role for the Dragons, and he loses that ball in the tackle. And that's a good set from the Vikings' point of view, and Arvan leads the counter.
Yeah, Yeah, Catalan got themselves pinned on the sidelines. Always difficult to attack from there, and they just got a little bit lost.
Oh, and then Van's lost it, and Bird comes up with it. Well, fierce defence from both sides there. Chris Kendall gives head and feed to the Catalan Dragons. Ball went back to his own try line.
Wasn't it just play on from that point? Oh, they're very lucky there, weren't they? That did look like there was hands in there from Jeremiah.
Look at this from Simon. So head and feed to the Catalan Dragons. In a very strong position. Widnes won the fixture against the Dragons earlier in the season. Round one, in actual fact. 12 all at half-time. 28 points without reply from the Vikings in the second half for a good start to the season. 40 points to 12 win. And that was when Catalan were vulnerable. Their shaky start to the season when they won only 2 of their opening 11 games. And it didn't look good for them, but they've managed to get their act together. Here is Mikel Simon again, charging strongly, and Widnes have got some defending to do. Their academy has already been successful at the Brutus this afternoon, winning 32-28, and they've withstood that challenge. The ball's knocked on, referee will bring them back for that one. So the Catalan Dragons get themselves in a tangle.
It's quite interesting to look at with Drinkwater and Bird working together in the halves. Neither are playing straight and neither are taking the ball to the line. They're trying to feed the ball out the back. It's not really the best way to start a game. You need to challenge. You need to be a run threat first off if those outside runners are going to work. And just at the moment, while their forwards are powering forward fantastically well there for the Catalan, I think the halves and McIlroy and Hooker have really got to take that game on and straighten it up in the middle if they are going to get the outcomes they're after offensively when attacking the line. Let's keep our eye on that and see if Drinkwater and Bird can take the line on themselves to some success.
But from a Widnes Vikings point of view, if they can withstand an obviously revved up Catalan side, fresh from their Challenge Cup quarter-final success over Huddersfield, on home soil, looking to build, if Widnes can withstand that, then they could profit.
Oh, absolutely. Look, there's no way this is Catalan's game home at all. They're bottom 4 teams. They're equal sort of level in terms of where they are in the scale of the competition. Since we're not fighting for titles here, they're down the bottom and fighting for survival.
Van's lost it.
They can't keep coming up with errors though. This is becoming one too many.
So that's 0 tackle, says Chris Kendall. Another error. Both sides guilty of coming up with too many errors early on. Here is Greg Bird.
First moves.
Francis Cummins in charge of this Widnes side for his first game, and Danny Craven just taking too long for the referee's liking there.
That's the good news there was Bird running the ball, taking it on. I don't think he had much choice. I don't think it was particularly by strategy, but that's what they are going to need to do. McIlroy involved.
And they know they've got Widnes on the back foot at this stage of the game. It's all being played in Widnes territory, and it's with Drinkwater. Drinkwater gets the pass away to Garcia. Garcia grimacing, gurning as he went for the line. Widnes managing to hold him out. McIlroy's pass to Bird. Bird tries to put the step on. Not the twinkling feet of old from Greg Bird. There's a knock on there, and Widnes salutes. Greg Bird comes up with the error.
Scrum. Head and feed.
Okay, well, it's going to be the first team to tidy up. It's going to be in a position to
It's on the 10.
Get the most out of the opening exchanges. Both teams perhaps a bit nervous, a bit anxious. And again, the heat. It's like playing in wet conditions when
I just felt there. If you
the
get
hands are sweaty.
you don't get that.
Let's see what happens here.
Trying to dive forward.
Yep.
He lost control. It's fair. It's a fair call.
Okay, guys, pat down, please.
Been in good form lately as referee Chris Kendall.
Need one more.
Had a quite stormy game to do in Perpignan just a few weeks ago.
Remember, head in the scrum. In. There we go.
So Widnes successfully withstand another Catalan assault on their line, and now Stefan Marsh brings the ball away.
Move, Braden!
Braden Williami and Josh Drinkwater do the tackling for the Catalan Dragons.
Surrender!
What we're looking for here is can Widnes get to a kick? Can they earn some field position back? Terrific play. Looked like Hanbury, and that's exactly what they've been after.
Danger position.
Benjamin Julien, the culprit. And first penalty of the game goes to the Vikings.
Dangerous. Max Army.
You notice a lot of talking. I noticed that the dropout, they spent a lot of time reforming, obviously hot conditions.
On the line.
Widnes to be conscious of always being ready, so they've got nice clear minds. They won't be after particularly up-tempo transitions. But physical hits there from the Catalan
Move,
side.
Sam! With me, Mickey. Wait.
Widnes
Go on.
haven't lost in the last 4 against the Catalan Dragons. Won the one at the start of this season. And
2.
1-2,
Move, Josh.
drew 1
Hold.
last year against the
Hold.
Catalan Dragons.
Go
So
to.
recent
Well, you're
history
contributing to
bodes
that.
well for them.
3rd. Move, Mickey.
Chapelhow, that's Jay.
Go 3rd.
James
Mikel
on a
did not
Sunday.
square.
Here
Okay,
is
now. 4.
Joe Metler.
Move.
And this is
Hold,
first
hold,
sight of those
go
Dragons posts for the Widnes Vikings now. Jeremiah drops the ball back in. Oh, lovely offload to Hanbury. Hanbury is almost there.
5.
He's just short of the try line. That's 5th tackle. What a
Hold.
beautiful pass that was. Jeremiah puts a little grubber kick in. Oh, and it's missed. And Jay Chapelhow has pounced on the ball. The referee has awarded the try, I think. Greg Bird furious with himself. And Widnes Vikings, with their first real threat on the Catalan line, have come up with the try.
Well, Bill, it's a reward for fantastic defence on their own line. You mentioned it themselves a couple of times when I was singing the praises of Catalan and the opportunities they were creating. Greg Bird's going to be so angry with himself there. It's the same outcome. Diving on it stops the ball, knocking it out. Both outcomes give you a dropout. He should have just dived on that ball. Took the risk to try and get rid of it. It's cost his team a try. We went right back to with all the number of sets that Widnes defended in that opening 10 minutes. They rewarded that first opportunity. And the tempo changes. Defensively, it changes then for Catalan. They've got to get straight into defensive mode. A couple of wonderful offloads, a couple of lovely bits of support play. Drove Widnes downfield.
Go on, James.
And Danny Craven with this conversion attempt. Bang in front of those posts. And bang on target. And Widnes ahead by 6 points to 0.
Under. Gareth. No.
Great little kick there, isn't it, from Jeremiah? You're just earning field position. It was a wonderful kick. He would have been after a repeat set. The try was a bonus. He got the bonus because the Chapelhow pushed up and showed so much energy himself.
Stay behind.
I said at the start of the game, you'll always find a lot of energy in a team that's replaced coach. They always seem to have a new, fresh voice, fresh minds. The team's very much responsible, and we've seen that well. Key now for Widnes, having defended so long the difficult end of the field for the first 10 minutes, is to make sure they get to a kick here. Earn a penalty or get to a kick.
2. Move. Go to. Surrender. 3.
Great start.
Stand.
Defensively
Go
strong.
3.
And taking that chance when it came their way. Here is
4.
Alderson.
Move.
Compliments to these
Up, Tom,
forwards. They
go
are
for.
powering forward. Great little run there from Jeremiah.
5.
The big men, the Chapelhows, Alderson, are really dominating the middle
Hold.
now.
Go 5.
Kick. One for Shigo, who claims that. And it's
Surrender.
claimed by
1.
the pursuing
Stand. Back. Wait.
You might see the Catalan forwards behind the defensive line there. You can just see the stings right out of them
Go
now.
1. 2. Move. Go 2. Well done, Aaron.
Yaha brought into the side for this game because of the absence of Jody.
3rd. Move, Aaron. Go 3rd.
Catalan Dragons having
4. Move. Go 4. Outside. Outside. Play on.
yards from Patrick Garman. Big wingman runs it back. Good follow.
Move. Back, Greg. Greg. Go.
Not one of the biggest. Important to Patrick Garman down there.
Surrender. 2.
He certainly might be big, but he plays a lot of power
Stand.
mead, doesn't he? And power is so important when you are defending like that.
3rd. Move, Remy. Back, Sam. Wait. Wait. Go, third.
On the halfway line. Now then.
Four. Move, Josh! Go, four. Play on, play on.
Hold of the ball because...
5. Move, Sam! Wait. Wait. Go, 5.
Round and Craven.
Clear.
The good kick in. Hugo underneath it has lost the ball. And Hiram, it's unbelievable. It's Ted Chapel out.
Time off the comms has gone this way.
We've got a Chapel House.
What's your lad call, Andy?
Double Chapel House.
What's your lad call? No try. Chill it round, okay. James, it's 0 tackle. Got no try. Just check the grounding, please.
Well, great story.
James, skip for the kick as well.
Yeah.
No. It's got 0, yeah.
No, I thought it was a great effort. Gigo just has to take this one. Nice discipline from the Widnes guys, backing out, making sure they won't give away a penalty. Wow.
Could you get Brad? It's just in and out. Do you think?
Next child is a video ref.
It's okay. Yes, mate.
Great recovery from the PNG International.
Go back on. It's no try. It's going to be a scrum to Widnes. Because it's 0. Time is off. It's going to be a scrum, Widnes ball from the knock-on.
Terrific work from him as the knock-on obviously goes against the fullback Gigo on the drop. I think the video referee, the reason he went to the high shot a couple of times there was just to see if Chapelao played the ball and therefore was in front of the kicker when he was following down. Once you checked that in, it wasn't the case that David Mead then came into action. It had to be about his terrific play. Just shows you how important it is just to put all those little minimal efforts in. Wow, if we're looking at a 12-0 scoreline, that would have been very, very tense times for the Catalan guys early. But we're not.
Fine.
Vikings have their tails up, and Hambry does have a try, and there's no doubt about that one. And Reece Hambry gets a second try of this Super League season.
It's in and out, innit? That's it.
And the Catalan Dragons.
It's just in and out. There's sometimes I can hear him, sometimes I can't.
But since I pushed to connect.
Oh, fantastic speed. He's got amazing speed, Hanbury, hasn't he? When he gets those opportunities, he just skins them each time. You saw there, Braden Willian just could not go with him. It was terrific little decoy runs on the inside. They did a lot of that in the warm-up, the Widnes guys. Hanbury was very confident at the back that his players would put him into this space.
He's got me now. That was for the TV mic, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Danny. Time off.
Well, it has a couple of times when they've been really challenged by the offloads and speeds of Widnes, if we're going to be honest. Widnes very conservative down their own end of the field, and they're really sparking it up when they get in the attacking ends, and Catalan aren't adjusting themselves with that. What? Yeah, you get the impression defensively that Catalan are a little bit complacent. The depleted Widnes side coming to town. There won't be any more.
Front of the post, ahead.
Yeah, the defence from the Cat, it was great speed. There's no question. The timing is fantastic from Hanbury, particularly at the back, but the Catalan defence just got sat down way too easily there.
Catalan having promised a good start. They're really on the ropes now. They really are on the ropes.
One.
And scrambling to get back.
Hold. No. Up, Charlie. Just get up straight.
Here's Craven and
Done
Catalan
10.
all over the place at the moment.
2. Movement! Nicky, Remy, wait. Wait. Go 2.
Craven, but could be more points coming.
Surrender!
to find his way
3.
here because Catalan Dragons
Stand!
are the side
Go
of
3.
Forward C. Jeremiah. Craven now. Craven. Bird.
4. Move, Greg!
Progress, but
Hit the goal line. Wait.
Aaron Jeremiah
Go 4.
calling the shots. Catalan Dragons. Here is Mella. Mella. Catalan
5.
again.
Move, Remy!
That's
Go
good, a
5.
try. Mella once more. Mella puts a little grubber kick in. Oh, and Haraki was so close. to
Touched by
getting on the end of
Haraki.
that
Forward.
one.
It's going to be a 20-metre restart. Touched by Haraki.
Wow, that was good play. That was so close to on. Haraki responded fantastically well. This has become very, very impressive by a very gallant Widnes side. Oh, wow.
Hold. Go 0. First. Movement! Hold.
He actually claimed there at the end that he hit it back to Gigo and Gigo put it dead, which is something you could argue with.
Dominate!
Tough one to call that.
2. Stand. Go 2. Third. Move, Danny! Go third. Up straight. Surrender. 4.
Nice run there from Sam Moa.
Go 4.
Bit of a response, Catalan. Just need to make sure that they get through this set.
Move. Go 5.
5th tackle. They'll be after a really dominant kick. Oh, it's a good chase. It's a lovely kick from Bird.
Backwards. Tackle 1. Tackle 1. Move.
really maybe-
Mikel.
Could have got a little bit more out of that,
that's
the Catalan
wrong.
side, but they've fought their way through that set. Great field
Surrender.
position. They've earned great
2.
field position now. Challenge now back
Stand.
at Widnes in this.
Go 2.
Since we've seen the errors take out of the first 10 minutes, there's a lot of errors.
Third.
Since they've gone away, this has been a
Move,
really
Randy,
interesting
square.
game to watch.
Go
Both
third.
sides playing high quality. Stephen Marsh making some amazing yards out from dummy half.
Held. Release 4. Wait.
Catalan goes is just working tirelessly now to make sure that Widnes kick from inside their own 30, and they've done that.
5.
Just struggled to get to that 30-metre line.
Wait.
Nice
Go
dominant
5,
passage, nice response from the Catalan
40,
defence.
40.
And they'll be looking for
Aaron, give
Gigo to get
10.
on this ball really quickly and get it downfield. Back to Lewis Tierney. Nice
One.
chase from the
Move,
Widnes
Aaron.
side.
Hold. Go 1. McGrath. Don't be coming in there.
Here is Tony Gigo.
2.
Gigo up to the 40-metre line. So
Too slow,
Catalan
one to the
gets the penalty,
Tackle 1, then we've got tackle 2.
and they'll be grateful for that because they really have been under the cosh.
Tony Max there.
Wella Haraki and Joe Mella doing the tackling.
Next line, Tom. Next line, mate.
It's a wonderful kick, so this is a great position here, Gigo.
Off we go. Go.
It's a little bit tired when you're looking at that run there, but I think we're looking for short passes here if you're the Catalan side. You're looking to get to the line, just make little passes. We've seen the big wide passes out the back aren't working for them.
Go 1.
Well, this maybe is an opportunity for the Catalan Dragons to hit back. The necessity for the Widnes Vikings is to stand firm. Can they do so now? Short pass and Casti, the ball is booted out of his hand.
Reese is short of the line. It's a scrum.
Remy Casti so close.
So close, and it was a short pass.
Scrum down.
And he was reaching it. He lost the grip. They've got to get some composure here. They just seem to be chasing that game urgently. We saw a lot of errors in this attacking end of the field from the Catalan side. The skipper himself coming up with that. Bird, an experienced player, coming up with it. It feels like they're just a little bit tense. They're chasing the outcome. Short pass there from Drinkwater. Take note. That's what they need to be doing.
Well, because the tackle 1 was slow as well. Yeah. just try and make more of an effort. Back down,
So a
boys.
let-off for the Widnes Vikings. Remy Casti coming closest to
Head in.
getting Catalan Dragons on the scoreboard. Widnes leading by 10 points to nil after a fantastic start for the bottom side in Super League,
Hold.
trying to salvage their season in terms of getting out of the bottom four. It's a long shot,
2 with me, Mikel. Stand.
but
Go.
first
2.
quarter of this game has definitely belonged to the visitors from the Widnes Vikings.
Go, fellas.
And they're in possession. Here is Wella Haraki. Greg Burke and Ed Chamberlain go in the opposite direction to join the Salford Red Devils. And there's a penalty. And Chris Kendall says Catalan made no attempt there. So it's another penalty to Widnes. And they'll look to build on this.
Are we seeing a little pattern here where they repel the Catalan side? Catalan come up with errors, and then they earn a relieving penalty. Last time we saw this, we saw points relatively quickly for Widnes.
Stand. Go on.
Wella Haraki plays the ball. Aaron Jeremiah.
2. Move Mickey off the legs.
And Catalan
Hold. Go.
defending now as McGrath Luluai plays that ball. Craven, little change of direction from him, but they keep the ball moving, do the Widnes Vikings, until Jeremiah is brought down by Josh Drinkwater. Is Mellor now. Tom Olbison.
Move.
Good signing he's been for this Widnes side, and they're on the charge again. And it's McGrath Luluai who is driving for the line, but he is driven back. Threatening once more. Little grubber kick comes in, and Gigo, I think, has got that down, or has he? Has he? Or has Ryan Ince?
I've got no try.
Or is it Matt Whitley? I beg your pardon. We'll see on the replay.
No. Maybe there's an offside man.
He said, is there an offside man? So look to the referee, the number 28, right down on the try line, just beside the referee. Is he looking at him? He said, I think there's an offside man involved. So he's possibly too close to the ball, even if is what the referee's indicating. He obviously felt his presence beside him. Let's see if he does place the ball here, Gigo. Oh, this could be... He's going to go straight away to refuse here, I think. Yeah, he's seen that player a little bit too far offside and in the way of Gigo.
No try.
Yeah, Matt Whitley denied the try.
I think it was Farnsworth.
And
Offside in the 10.
the referee, Chris Kendall, saying it was Owen Farnworth who was in an offside position, very offside position really, and just couldn't get out of the way. So that is another let-off for the Catalan Dragons. A shake of the head from Matt Whitley, but couldn't really dispute that one. What a relief that is for the Catalan Dragons. They've got enough problems as it is. Up against the side, bottom in the table. And already 10-0 down. 25 minutes almost on the clock. Here is Anthony Maria. As Steve McNamara rings the changes for the Dragons.
Hold, go to, well done.
McAlorum. Bousquet is out there. Good rumbling run from Julien Bousquet. The crowd lifting as Catalan attack, but Drinkwater is brought down.
Go. McGrath, you're off. McGrath.
Into the middle of the field with Bousquet. Bousquet drives it towards Owen Farnworth.
Move. Go on, McGrath.
Farnworth and Sam Wilde making the tackle. Both the coaches ringing the changes because of the heat there. Gigo will get to this ball and dot it down, and Catalan hit back. The kick from Josh Drinkwater and Tony Gigo. Love him or loathe him, he comes up with the tries.
That's a wonderful try. That's a beautiful kick from Drinkwater. Gigo right on the spot. Tremendous communication. Fords drove them into great position. Wow, did they need that. Tony Gigo coming up with a very, very timely try. They really are throwing the gauntlet now back at Widnes, who've not had to respond to points against them yet. Hot conditions, back end of the half, having travelled down. I do just feel slightly physical ahead in this game, the Catalan side, and that will tell the back end of the halves. And we do feel that I just feel that the Catalan side at this point are in a position to dominate the back end. They really own the first 10 minutes. Widnes responded. Very, very important kick. I believe it's right in front, so we'll throw it over for Josh Drinkwater. But they do have to keep racking these points up.
Tony Gigot with his 4th try of the season. Josh Drinkwater, who's been a very effective recruit with the retirement of Luke Walsh, and then that followed by Paul Ayton's decision to call time as well. Drinkwater on target after this try.
The timing is amazing. The bounce was phenomenal. It's straight up into Gigot's hands.
Yeah, just marker side by side.
He's obviously delighted and sending a little message home to the family. Daddy's thinking of you.
Set, guys. Keep working on the 10, Aaron. Not just when I'm next to you.
It might have been one or two of his critics who've been having a pop at him lately, Tony Gigot, but he's come up with the right response. Big restart. Braden Williami is underneath it. And here's Anthony Maria. So Catalan 6, Widnes Vikings 10. First quarter of the game belonging very definitely to the Widnes side. Now coming up to the half-hour mark, it's Catalan maybe having their strong patch in the game. Here's Tierney, all footwork and scampering from Lewis Tierney. Louis Anderson is on the field, Lewis to Louis. The crowd getting on the back of the referee. And Greg Bird now, Bird onto Mead. Widnes having to keep things tight defensively. Louis Anderson, the Vikings there to meet him, but Anderson reversing at some speed towards that Widnes line.
Go, 5.
McAlorum, Drinkwater, another kick from Josh Drinkwater. Braden Williami was going for that one, but it's well claimed by Charlie Runciman.
2. Move, Julian!
Ryan Ince it was, in fact, underneath that ball. And then Stefan Marsh. And that is dominant, that's for sure.
Hold, go 3.
Patrick Arvan. But again, Busquet and Maria make the tackle. Louis Anderson down low. 4 tackles gone. Widnes maybe do look as though they might just be feeling the heat after a really brisk start to this game. So Craven belts the ball downfield, and that's a good kick.
40-20, it's a 40-20.
The referee says that's a 40-20. And Tony Gigot looks puzzled by that.
Wait.
And that's caught Catalan by surprise, caught the commentators by surprise, because the camera didn't show exactly where that was played, and Anthony Maria has missed a chance there because he got the ball and then he just stood and looked at it. And Widnes could capitalise on that succession of incidents, the 40-20 kick, and then Anthony Maria stealing the ball but forgetting to make sure it was his. And they're right underneath those posts now. Mellor, oh, that's a poor pass in the end. Goes forwards, and the referee says we'll take the first knock on.
Yeah, on this occasion, let's have a look at this 40-20. He really drove it hard. The ball never kicked at all at any point. Does it cross? There's a call from the referee. They looked at each other. He thought he was in a 2-man tackle, and I think he probably was there, is why he didn't dive on the ball. I think he thought he'd given away a penalty. It'd be very hard to see from that angle, but he'd have probably thought that McAlorum had his hand on the man there, so that's why he didn't dive on that ball. In many ways, that should therefore be a penalty rather than a 0 tackle. Same outcome, I suppose. But that time there was no offloads, no little breaks, no little half errors in that set from Widnes. So you'd have to say because of that, the Catalan came up with a far better defensive set on their own line. when they defended that 40-20. That was a big difference why Widnes didn't come away from points.
Wait, Weller. Go one.
Some debate whether that ball actually crossed the line to constitute a 40-20, but it's gone. Widnes weren't able to capitalise on it anyway. Here is Fuad Yaha, muscular winger, meeting his match in Weller Hiraki. Anthony Maria runs over the top of Jeremiah. Here is Gigo now. Gigo gets away from the first tackler. Gets the pass away to Louis Anderson. Anderson puts his foot to the floor, bursts through the cover. Still going, Louis Anderson. Thought about the pass, couldn't get it away. Here is McIlorum. Drinkwater's little kick, and Williame gets the try for the Catalan Dragons. A Widnes hand just took some of the pace off the ball, ironically. And again, Josh Drinkwater with the kick does the trick.
Yeah, he's got a lovely touch, hasn't he? Well held there by Louis Anderson. Off a wonderful run from Gigo at the back. He raced out from Dunn. Look at the deft touch here. Unlucky Stephen Marsh, and tremendous work there from Braden William, just to stay composed, get his hand on the ball. Well done. That composed kicking game with Drinkwater has really turned this team around, you've got to say. He's only lost once in his time in the Catalan. I think this is his sixth or seventh game, and this man drops Drinkwater. He's getting so many things right and controlling the back end of their sets of six. The Catalan did dominate the first 10 minutes of that. We did speak about that. In terms of Widnes dominating the first quarter, it really was only on the scoreboard. They come up with some chancy bits of play. This Catalan side does look like they are in and dominating physically as the game went through. That last set of six, we saw some wonderful carries, the forward straight up the middle, and Gigo just jumped into dummy half, ran hard, found himself in a good position with a wonderful offload, sent Louis Anderson away, and then the touch of Drinkwater rewarded them with a try. So Josh Drinkwater has this one to get the Catalan in front. They're probably looking for another one, Bill, before half-time, I'd have thought, given they're now got some momentum and take the enthusiasm away from Widnes.
Tony Ray with us for this Catalan Dragons game. Good to have him on board. And Josh Drinkwater, whose two kicks have set up the two tries that have brought the Catalan Dragons level in this game. And now this to put Catalan in front, having been 10-0 down, and he misses. 10 points apiece. Grimace from Drinkwater, but this was his latest contribution.
That is just a beautiful kick. Actually almost set himself up for the pass as well. There were so many options because of what his team had done, but he read it beautifully, put it right on the line. Very difficult one for Stephen March. Great composure from William to score the goal. Let's see the power out of the line here from Catalan. See if we can note that. If they can get over that red and white line there, the 40-metre line, in 3 or 4 tackles, this could be a difficult period to finish the half for a great start there from the Widnes side defensively.
Go one, it's okay.
Well, there's Kenny Edwards onto the field, the recruit from Parramatta, who made his debut in that cup win against the Huddersfield Giants last time out.
Well, they're 3 tackles, they are at that line, the 40-metre line. It's given them this chance to attack here. Bird read that well. The offloads are really going to hurt the back end of this half, and Louis Anderson's really feeding off them. 4 tackles to the 50. They are really pushing Widnes back here, the Catalan side.
And trying to get a roll on. Well, they have got a roll on, the Catalan Dragons. And Julien Busquet takes some stopping. That's the 5th tackle. And Garcia, LA, say the Catalan fans. The little kick comes in, and across comes Hanbury, but Hanbury immediately collared by the chasing Dragons.
Surrender to
Ryan Ince now, 2 tackles gone. Here is Patrick Arvan, such an imposing figure as a winger.
We need 10 meters.
Patrick Arvan, but had his injury problems, out for 10 earlier in the season, having broken his arm against the Catalan Dragons in that round 1 win. Arvan.
5. Move,
That's the 5th tackle. And Mellor puts the kick in. Is this another 40-20?
Play on.
Well, not on this occasion, because Patrick Arvan, Fouad Yaha, beg your pardon,
1.
is able to come charging back with it
Hold. Go 1.
for the Catalan Dragons. Gigo, is the Catalan Dragons who are looking a bit
2.
weary at the moment. 1 or 2 players strolling nonchalantly back to join this attack.
They do that because of the power of these guys at the back there. We're seeing the great run there from Mead. The
3rd.
Yaha in particular really leads the go forward. So the forwards trust them. They actually walk back and let the big backs carry it forward. And this is, you can see the reason why there, because these backs are enjoying that. They're enjoying dominating, getting the yards, really contributing a real team effort. Maria's been fantastic. Hasn't the bench been wonderful? Anderson, Busquets, Maria, they've really added to this Catalan and had to given what the scoreboard was doing.
Gigo's hit. Oh, kick is hoisted, and Greg Bird timed that one to perfection. Reece Hambry, a smile on his face. I'm glad he didn't smile about it, because Bird flew in to collar him then.
Benjamin, you're off.
Kenny Edwards, Drinkwater, Braden Williame, all involved in the tackle on Stefan Marsh there. Wella Haraki, Widnes looking to get to half-time without suffering any more damage. They've had this 10-0 lead eaten away by the Catalan comeback. Here is Aaron Jeremiah.
Outside.
And Craven puts a good kick in. Gigo goes back and then gives the ball to Tierney. Tierney straightens up, but straight into 2 Chapel House and Aaron Jeremiah. 2 littles, 2 larges and a little there.
Move! With me, Aaron, hold. Go 2.
Fouad Yaha. There's Williame, the Fijian international.
Go 3rd.
Benjamin Garcia. Now Kenny Edwards.
Move, Ted!
Spoken of as a future Kiwi international, but he needs to get his off-the-field life sorted out probably before that will happen. Bit of a checkered history. Gigo appealing for the penalty. Jeremiah eventually is penalised.
There's 3 markers. There's 3 markers.
He's been outstanding, the referee, Chris Kendall, really clear in his instructions, very good in his reads. He's been enjoying listening to in the background there. He's heard him go out to Benjamin Garcia at one point. Benjamin, you're offside, he was going for a tackle. So rather than giving away a penalty, nice and clear. Players enjoy that, clear instructions from the referee. You get the respect back. Electing to take the 2. An interesting decision given the momentum they've had. I guess they'd like to get their noses in front going into half-time. Something I often disagree with. I don't see the point in that. If you've got momentum,
On the line. Yeah, on the line.
no matter what the clock says, you don't get any points for being in front at half-time. You're better off chasing a tired team down and trying to get some added points on.
So Drinkwater to put the Catalan Dragons in front as half-time approaches. It was 10-0 to Widnes. Catalan turning things round. And this man, Josh Drinkwater, has had a lot to do with it, with that boot of his. Look at that from Bird. What a follow-up that was.
Look at the highlights of the physical defence, the physical efforts coming in, and winning the collision, just powering through, dominating physically.
Discipline now, guys. Discipline.
Continually getting under, lovely technique. Hips underneath their hips, driving through with the power out of the feet attached to the ground. Lovely work from the Catalan side. And you're right, the hit from Bird was an absolute bell ringer. Even the back 3 have been physical. I mentioned it a couple of times when Yaha goes, really charges onto the ball.
Move, Aaron, get
Then
back, Jay.
Williams really jumped on top of that. It's enabled this forward pack to enjoy the dominant parts over the middle part of the field.
Go 2.
Half-time approaching then at the start. Gilbert Brutus as Catalan keep the ball alive, and it's Garcia. Benjamin Garcia, oh, he left Aaron Jeremiah on the ground there.
Move, men! Hold.
Catalan maybe
Go
sensing that they could just pinch something before half-time. Drinkwater, quick hands, good defence. It needed to be from Ryan Ince. And Kenny Edwards was stopped in his tracks there. Here is Louis Anderson. Anderson to Benjamin Julien, and the former Warrington man trying to break through. 10 seconds of this first half to go. Gigot. Drinkwater goes for one. And he's wide of the target. The first time he's got his kicking. The second time he missed with a conversion attempt. He's missed with a drop goal. But Catalan Dragons have turned this around. They were 10-0 down. Drinkwater trying to add more points, but Catalan go into the break leading by 12 points to 10. So Catalan Dragons and the Widnes Vikings emerge at the Gilbert Brutus for the second half of this Betfred Super League game, with Catalan ahead by 12 points to 10. And apologies for the technical issues in the first half, which hampered our coverage of this game and obviously affected your enjoyment or otherwise of it. Apologies for that. And Widnes have seen a 10-0 lead eroded by a strong Catalan Dragons recovery. What will the second half hold? There were signs, Tony, maybe, that Catalan were becoming dominant in that game.
I thought they dominated physically just about throughout the whole game, but Widnes did seize on their opportunities. Having said that, it is a 12-10 scoreline. History between these recent histories in Perpignan between these two sides suggests we're going right down to the wire again. This is a really tenacious Widnes side. Even if they are getting dominated physically, they are staying in the contest on the scoreboard by seizing their opportunities, particularly using their speed whenever they can.
Yep, first game in charge for Francis Cummins, having succeeded Dennis Betts, and Braden Williame almost letting that ball bounce into the hands of the chasing Widnes Vikings players. Wouldn't have been a good start to the second half for the Catalan Dragons, who show one change from their side that beat the Huddersfield Giants in the Cup last time out. Jody Broughton injured, so Fuad Yaha coming back in, having missed the last 6 games. And the Widnes Vikings, well, their numerous injury problems, meaning Francis Cummins has selected Reece Hambry at full-back, Ince and Patrick Arvan, his wingers, Stephen Marsh and Charlie Runciman in the centres, and the halves Joe Mellor and Danny Craven, and his pack as a Catalan attack with Braden Williame. Williame, first half try scorer, come back to that Widnes side in a moment, on the 20-metre line. And here is Josh Drinkwater, that left boot, hoisting the kick. Oh, the ball is allowed to bounce, and Arvan had to pounce on that one.
Time off.
Mead was following up.
Time off.
And what's Chris Kendall looking for here?
Got no try. Just check the grounding.
Maybe wants to see how he's going to restart the game.
Yeah, I think he's seen it as a knock-on by the Catalan players here, particularly on this catch off this kick now. I don't think I think Arvan's definitely, I think you called that right, Bill, has placed the ball. It just does Mead, I think it is, get a hand here. And it looks like he does. So that'll be a knock-on against the Catalan side. Oh, it's off his head, so it won't be. And now does Arvan kill the ball? Oh, you might have to have another look at that. It looked like he did. Does this hit his head? Clearly does. Does Arvan?
Does anybody bother to touch it down afterwards? If Louis Anderson maybe had been more alert, he might have profited from that. No try, and it's a goal line dropout. James Child and Chris Kendall coming to that conclusion. Was there an opportunity for Louis Anderson, maybe?
I don't think so, because of the efforts of Arvan. I think...
Okay, mate, off we go.
Well, obviously, Arvan's adjudged to have grounded it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Danny Craven with the restart. Was going through that Widnes pack. Jay Chapelau, Aaron Jeremiah, Ted Chapelau, Matt Whitley, Weller Haraki, the new signing, and Tom Olbison. And then on the bench, Sam Wilde, McGrath Luluai, Jordan Johnston and Owen Farnworth. 19 years of age, making his second appearance of the season. Forward pass, and Kenny Edwards furious.
Got that call from the sideline. It's a very disappointing result for people looking to see Catalan on the attack there. They're playing this nice little short passing game, attacking short sides in the second half. The referee's called it so well all game.
Okay, guys, back down.
Widnes having had a breather, just maybe starting to feel the heat towards the end of that first half. It is very hot in Perpignan this evening. It's been a hot few days. Oof.
Greg, get square!
It nearly went without that ball. Craven. And Catalan strong in defence on Matt Whitley there. Up to the halfway line.
Benjamin!
Chapelau gets to his feet. And here's his brother. but Catalan there in numbers
Back.
to stop his
Hold.
progress.
Go for.
Jeremiah.
Outside.
Craven
Outside.
puts a good kick in. Great kick. And Arvan is chasing. Tierney's going to have to do something with that. What a good kick that was.
It's a fantastic kick. They've been so intelligent inside this contest. Arvan, wonderful effort down the in goal. The other one into the field. Wonderful effort. The attacking end here. And they've got a repeat set here, Widnes. You have to remind yourself on this score just how tenacious they have been, Widnes. It is a 2-point ball game and they are on the attack. As we've seen, their speed and the little offloads have been able to really dominate, particularly in the attacking fields. They've had to hang in there in the middle and the yardage parts of the field. They've been able to strike when they've been down this end of the field.
12-10 the scoreline. It was 12-10 in September last year when these two sides met. 12-10 in favour of the Widnes Vikings, and it needed a massive defensive effort from them to secure that win.
Hold.
2017, a good year for Widnes as far as taking on the Catalan Dragons is concerned. Two tackles gone. The Widnes Vikings in possession. Here is Aaron Jeremiah.
Third.
3 in the bag now as Chapelau gets to his feet. It's Ted who plays the ball.
Fine. 4. Move.
Ince cut down by the tackle from Braden Williame. Edging their way forward. A Chapelau combination there. Jay to Ted. That's the 5th tackle though. Bang in front of those posts. Mella put under pressure. The kick collected by Gigot, and Gigot will counter, but Jeremiah there to make the tackle. And now here comes Tierney. Tierney weaves his way through. And Mead continues the pace. Good counter this from Catalan. There's a man down, referee stops play.
Tackle free.
We just saw somebody's feet in the corner of the shot, and not sure who that is.
No, mate. Nice try, Tony.
Sam Wilde, I think, who collected
his own man, I think.
That wasn't it. No, mysterious replay, but Sam Wilde's the man who's down.
The worry was a head injury. It doesn't look like it is that. It looks a little like a rib injury. There's a... It's difficult to see what he's done there.
Yeah, just on me there. Free.
Holding his hip.
That's always an indication.
David,
In the McDermott School of Medical Diagnosis, it's a knee problem. No, not making light of it, but
go free.
Sam Wilde, well, he's back on his feet because he's just involved in the tackle there. Here's Kenny Edwards.
Move, Weller! Go for.
Garcia. Louis Anderson, strong first half from the big former Warrington man in his 11th Super League season, his 7th with this Catalan club. Louis, almost an honorary Frenchman he is now.
Benjamin!
The kick is hoisted. Not a bad one. Who was that? Shielding his head, and the referee had warned the Catalan players, one of whom was sheltering from the ball.
It's been a tactic they've used all game, haven't they? They've got to sort of dominant field position and gone high. They're looking to, I guess in many ways, be very French sort of a style, big real flair, looking to really chance their arm rather than kick deep in the corners and force some field position. I'd question that tactic a little bit because whilst they're dominating physically, they're not really breaking this Widnes side. Widnes have been really tenacious. They've been really strong in trying to just hang in there and show energy and cover for each other. Now they're in an attacking position.
Walla Haraki playing the ball, having a good debut for the Widnes Vikings, having joined them from the Salford Red Devils. Whitley gets to his feet. Little shimmy from Craven and gets the pass away. Charlie Runciman trying to cut back in field. Mead making the tackle. Mella. No Tom Gilmore, he's one of the numerous injured Widnes players unavailable for new coach Francis Cummins, well, unavailable for old coach Dennis Betts as well. That was part of the problem. Here is Jeremiah. There's a Widnes player taken out off the ball.
Calm down.
Jay Chapelhow.
Yeah, calm down. Greg. He's trapped. Time is off. Off the ball.
Jay Chapelhow in pain. I think as a result of Anthony Maria. Or was it? No, it was Julian Bousquet who's taken him out. That could cost Catalan. It could cost Julian Bousquet.
Okay, mate. Take your time, mate. Take as much time as you need.
Jay Chapelhow, try scorer early on in this game. And caught off the ball by Julian Bousquet there. Is that how you saw it?
Absolutely it was. He was hit on suspicion. Very unfairly hit on suspicion. Sorry about that. Here we'll see it on the outside there. The thing is, you've been blindsided. It's always a horrible, awkward position to be in. It wasn't even a massive hit. He was in a difficult position. And let's see what the referee has to say.
And ironically, somebody landed.
Level of force. It's a sin bin.
Yeah, sin bin, you're right. Julian Bousquet is the guilty man, but ironically, he's left one of his own players on the deck as well, I think, in the fallout of that.
Off the ball.
Anthony Maria, there you go, just on the left of the picture there, just getting to his feet. So Julian Bousquet is sin-binned. Sam Moore was sin-binned against the Widnes Vikings round 1 of the season, and Anthony Maria is in a lot of pain. Here you go. Somebody landed on his ankle.
Chapelhow does off that hit. Oh, that's bad.
Dear me. Yep. Well, Julian Bousquet's taken 2 out in that. He's got himself sin-binned. And he's left his own teammate on the deck.
And you know, this is very interesting because if he has to go off and does shorten up their forward pack in hot conditions, as does a man in the sin bin, Widnes have a real opportunity here. A 10-minute opportunity. It was actually just before that thinking that the bench players that have come in, which Maria is one, Louis Anderson, Bousquet, Kenny Edwards, are just starting to have got to the edge of their long stint. And here we see Widnes deciding not to go for the try, which I think was really a wiser move in these conditions.
Well, especially with one-man advantage, but Patrick Arvan is going to try and level the scores. They know recent history suggests, apart from the round 1 game when they were comfortable winners, but last year it was very close. Now it is very close. 12 points apiece. Arvan taking on the goal-kicking duties to level the scores. He has levelled the scores, hasn't he?
As we look at the bottom of the screen, we see Maria limping off, so I don't think we'll see Anthony Maria again.
He has levelled the scores. 12 points apiece.
Stay behind!
Wow, this is an interesting period here now for Widnes. This is a chance for them to get some dominance, some little pace, little bits of speed, little short passes, minimum errors, little offloads.
As ever, an eventful game in Perpignan. Always eventful covering these Catalan matches.
Move, David, get square!
One way or another.
Go one.
Here's Craven. Oh, Samoa!
Move! Go. Sam, you're not
Somebody's
square.
revved Samoa up.
Okay, now, third. Move, David!
The Widnes level. 2 sides in the bottom 4 of
Sam.
Super League. Widnes at the bottom. Catalan looking to close up on those top 8. Just above them as Mella made the first dent in the Catalan defence. Julian made the tackle and then took his time. And the kick is hoisted. Tierney underneath that one.
Play on.
And then runs it back.
Surrender. One.
Again,
Stand.
the Chapelhouse there.
Go on.
And we jump into the rhythm of Yaha charging forward, dragging his team into it. Will we see Braden William again next?
3, 2. Go 2. Joe, you're not
Gigot.
square. Okay, now. Third. Move.
Gigot is brought down just inside his own half. Garcia, good run from Benjamin Garcia.
Dropped it.
And he's lost it. Good set from the Widnes' point of view.
Left ball.
Getting frustrated. Josh Drinkwalker talking to the referee there. When Catalan get frustrated, they can turn on themselves. Heads are down. Wow, this is an interesting one.
Yep, head and feed to the Widnes Vikings just inside their own half. And Catalan, of course, on their own patch and fancied because of their recent form and because Widnes' struggles to win this one, maybe feeling the pressure. Widnes, everything to play for in what remains of this game. Hanbury, nearly lost that ball under pressure from Kenny Edwards.
Hold, go on.
Jeremiah. Joe Mellor, Reece Hanbury, those little quick men. Jeremiah darting out if he can get a quick play of the ball, which he's struggled to get. It's been really hard for him. You can see it's slow play the balls there. As soon as we can see a white jersey on the ground, and there's a chance.
I went Farnworth.
Yes.
Take your phone. Go on.
Jeremiah to run there. That just gets them on the front foot.
They're rolling forward, Widnes. 4 tackles gone, 20 metres or so away from that try line. Mellor steps away from the challenge. Eventually Bird brings him down.
Up, go 5.
On the last, Craven kicks cross field. Fuad Yaha claims that one, but Marsh is wrestling for the ball with him.
One, move!
Wonderful take, wasn't it? Wonderfully important take. They are not out of trouble yet. There we see Willian kicking into gear. Crowd trying to get on the referee, trying to get that home advantage. Widnes will stay disciplined here, you'd think. They won't fall into that trap.
Go Ferb.
Garcia, Samoa, but look at that reception committee from Widnes. 4 tackles gone this set, and Catalan struggling to make territory. So Gigo will leather this one downfield, but it's straight down the middle of the field, and Hanbury is underneath it.
You can see Catalan now struggling to dominate physically. Widnes is starting to pull through tackles. 12-man Catalan team.
Go on.
Big opportunity this.
He's
is
pushing through with his legs driving there, Bill.
Ryan was with the drive. Farnworth. Chapel.
Move! Back. Go third, well done.
And Widnes just keeping it simple, keeping it smooth, and Mellor keeping it fast as well, and managing to get the pass away to Johnston. This is good from Widnes, but Johnston's lost the ball, and Gigo has picked his pocket.
Wow, that's a huge play. That's exactly what Widnes did not need.
Samoa on Farnworth.
Stand. Go on. Surrender.
Big drive from Samoa as Catalan counter. Fascinating game this. 12 points apiece.
Hold. Go for it.
Here is Fuad Yaha. Bursts through the first tackle.
Move. Go for it.
They get a quick play the ball, and Garcia runs. And Garcia loses the ball. Play on, says the referee. And Widnes capitalise.
Go on.
Bill, an exhausted Widnes. They're out on their feet. They really are fighting hard to hang in there. This is wonderful from Marsh. A couple of the outside backs would come in and just drive them into some good field position. Jordan Johnson's just come onto the field. That's a lovely little ball. Lovely timing. Young Farnworth charging forward. Now there's some more energy in the Widnes side. They've got some field position to look at.
They're faced by the Catalan defenders as Charlie Runciman is brought down by Mead. Arvan.
Okay, play on.
4 tackles gone. Chapel out.
Move. Go 5.
Gets to his feet. Kick down the side from Craven, and Gigo under pressure manages to get the ball back in the field of play. No, he doesn't, says the referee. Now watch this. Gigo. French histrionics coming. Tony Gigo cannot believe that.
Time on. Go on, Go on, mate.
Well,
Markers. Oh, offside
maybe
on the
Gigot has a point.
It's very line ball. I think we can say, let's have a little look at this one. He's trying to get out. Momentum goes. He's on the line. You can see what the referee can see there. It's hard to have a complaint with that. And you can possibly tell why the Catalan guys get a little bit frustrated, but they have to deal with that. There's no point arguing now. What they have done is given themselves a little bit of time to regroup, which is important here.
Wait, Tony, wait. Tony.
12 points
Got a doctor on the pitch,
apiece.
just wait.
Josh Drinkwater missing with a drop goal attempt just before half-time for the Catalan Dragons. Referee calls a halt. And
Doctor's still
Stefan
on,
Marsh just getting a bit of attention.
Okay.
And pleading his case. I think there's Stefan Marsh to be allowed to stay on as Gigot goes for the short restart, and it comes up for this mercurial fullback. And Gigot has done it again. He's done that once already this season for the Catalan Dragons, and the crowd love him for it.
Too long.
Oh, that is sensational. Brave and sensational. And he's possibly, even with the sin bin going on at the moment, giving his side an opportunity to have a kick for goal here, you've thought. Maybe to get the lead. It is in front, 40 metres out. Wow, that's brave.
That
Confidence.
That could have been a massive misjudgment. A man in the sin bin. He comes up with this.
He's got the second bag, got one for the try. Got a great bounce again there off that drop goal. I'd love to know if he communicated that to the players around him or he just saw it himself and went. Sam Mower.
Sam Mower.
So don't argue, isn't it?
Okay, Josh, Max there, mate. Yeah, on the 40, please.
And I think you're right. I think Josh Drinkwater is going to try and make the most of that piece of quick thinking,
the kick, Fuad.
audacity from Tony Gigot
Just behind the line, thank you.
to put the Catalan Dragons back in front. It's a long kick for Josh Drinkwater, but head on to the posts. Can he do justice to Gigot's trickery? He can. And Catalan nudge 14-12 ahead.
How long it is?
Tony Gigot, the sort of player the game needs. Okay, in some respects not, as has been highlighted on Super League Golden Point maybe, but when he comes up with skill like that, great to watch.
Stay behind! Stay behind. Time off.
There he is, Tony Gigot. He coached him at London Broncos and he was in it. Just out in the dead.
Oh,
it's
they
an
made
error.
a mess of that.
Goal line dropped out.
Williame and Remy Casti at 6s and 7s. And the Catalan captain, if looks could kill, Braden Williame. Well,
Will Tony Gigot go again?
I don't think they'll let him get a second go
Stay behind.
at it.
Stay
Knowing
behind,
him, he'd
guys.
probably try it.
Okay, Tony. Stay behind.
No, he's playing safe this time. And Mellor clutches that ball to his chest. Jay Chappell out.
Move, Mickey! Remy, you're not square, Remy!
And Catalan
Okay,
come
now.
back. Here's Ted now. The Chappell-Howe twins still going strong, and Ted Chappell-Howe offloads. That goes forward, I think.
Knock on. Knock
Oh,
on.
and Danny Craven looks at the referee, hoping against hope that it's going to go the Vikings' way, but it doesn't.
It's gone. It's good. Guys, the mark's back here. Mark's over here, guys.
It's an emotional
Ted,
swing as much as anything, isn't it? Because, you know, the Catalan side had grabbed 2 points. They grabbed a lot of time resting during the sin bin. We're still walking
Guys,
around now.
pass
There's a long
the
wait for a
line.
dropout. There's a long wait for the penalty conversion. We had another wait for another dropout. So it hasn't been as taxing as it well may have been
Tony.
for the Catalan side through that to
Tony.
sin bin period. And then an error.
Hit him.
Then an error first tackle, just when you're about to attack. They've really let them off the hook to some extent here, Widnes, but to a large extent.
Oh.
Another penalty.
It's out of the 10.
And that's painful for Widnes, because they'd forced, as you said, they got the goal line dropout. Now look.
And you look at the scoreboard. It is still 14-12, so Widnes just have to regroup, keep their eyes up. I will say this, you know, as dominant of saying that Catalan have been, they haven't really broken Widnes yet. Haven't really broken them apart with any great plays. They've been barging through them, looking physical.
Back out the bin, Julian Bousquet, and offloading to McIlorum. And Drinkwater.
One.
Don't see that very often from Josh Drinkwater.
Go one.
The steps. His kicking game is his major strength, maybe.
Move, Jordan, stay square.
He had the pleasure to coach Bill, and his talent's unbelievable. You just love him to believe in himself a lot more than he really does. He's a super player. Really got everything you need.
McIlorum. Hanbury has a hold of him, the former Wigan man.
Wait, kept hold, wait.
McIlorum has to extricate himself, turn round. And I think he has a word with Reece Hanbury, and it's a goal line dropout. Catalan chasing another Drinkwater kick. He's really is turning the screw on him in this game.
And this is why Catalan have been winning games of late, because he does have the ball there and has such control. It's a beautiful part of the end goal. Look at that, it's millimetres away from being a try.
Nearly a second for Braden Williame.
And aren't they responding to them? You know, they just know, they can read his body language, they can see his anticipation. He holds the ball high like he's about to pass, so the defenders have got to stay there flat-footed, and then he just subtly drops it on his toe.
Okay, mate, let's go.
It's a sort of football, we spoke before the game about you have to, you know, win games in the wet to win the competition, and it's a sort of football that actually can stand the Catalans in good stead if they can go deep into the season.
Well, they've got a Challenge Cup semi-final to look forward to against St Helens, of course.
Move well there.
But before then, they're looking to improve their position in the Super League table.
Surrender.
And right now they're looking to improve their position in this game. They need to get some breathing space. They need points now.
Here is Casti. Casti charging in, and it was high from Ted Chapelhow. And again, Chris Kendall, there's no great drama about him. He's just very pointed in his decision-making.
Been outstanding. We mentioned him earlier in the game. Oh, here's an interesting decision, because they could have taken the penalty option away from Widnes here, but they've backed themselves. They feel some momentum. Let's see how they go.
Strange, they'll go for goal from about 40 metres out, but right under the post they've gone for the power play, and it's with Bousquet now. So can Widnes withstand the charge of Bousquet? The Chapelhow twins there with the tackle. McIlorum with the short pass. Casti has got that ball down, or has he? I think it's Remy Casti under there.
Calm down, calm down.
Calm down, says Chris Kendall. What's his verdict?
James, I've got a try.
His instinct is that it is a try. I think we haven't seen a replay, but I think it was Remy Casti looking for his first try of the season. That's on the line. It's a try.
It was really good refereeing again, because look where he came from. He was from the other side of the goalpost. So he's come over and he's seen a ball on the ground, but he just wanted to make sure that nothing happened while it was obscured from him. Yeah, there's nothing here to suggest that anything other than a try.
James Child is the video ref, having another look at this one. Remy Casti, who has been in outstanding form in recent weeks for the Catalan Dragons, and waits for the verdict, which is that it is another try for the Catalan Dragons.
And probably no surprise to think it was through power. Lovely ball from McIlorum. Nice composure from Remy Casti, who dropped one like that in the first half in a similar position, trying to reach out over the line. This time he just kept his composure, puts the ball on the line and scores. And Catalan, who've been looking for a little bit of breathing space in terms of being more than 6 points in front in the game, look like they'll have the opportunity to do that. So done the right thing, turning down a penalty that was right in front. This gives them a good chance to go into an important phase of the game as Drinkwater steps up and takes them 8 points clear. Very important passage of play this after the sin bin from the Catalan side.
Could this be the breach that the Catalan Dragons have been trying to force in the Vikings' dam that they have put up in the face of this Catalan onslaught? Remy Castille, ever present in Super League this season. A landmark season for him as he sets a new Catalan appearance record, taking the record held by Greg Muniz, and adding to one of his few tries in his Catalan career. He scored one against Widnes back in 2012, in fact. Now then, can they make any sense of this restart?
Play on.
Williame does. Almost made a porridge of that one. Tony Ray is aghast.
That is phenomenal.
Phenomenally bad.
It was, given what happened the time before.
Surrender.
But they're away from it. Bit of composure, we'll call that.
Wait, go. 2.
Been very impressed by Williams' game. I thought he's had a wonderful game. Really contributed.
Apart from dealing with the restarts.
Third. Move, Jordan.
Stop scoring tries, please.
Go third.
Well, Catalan coming forward again with Kenny Edwards. Home debut for him. And the big men are making inroads now for the Catalan Dragons. Busquets makes a couple of meters there. And Gigot places a high kick towards Patrick Arvan's wing, and Arvan has lost it. And Gigot's kick put Arvan under pressure, and that is the result.
Look how much time he has to get this kick away. There is zero chase. He's had a juggle. Now, that should be kick pressure from Widnes, which just tells us how tired they are. And when you're feeling like you're on your back foot and no one's putting pressure on the kicker, it's very, very hard for those back three to handle those.
Keep working hard, guys.
We mentioned earlier that's been a real strategy from this Catalan side to throw that ball high. They spiral them high. They put a lot of pressure on the back guys. They've been rewarded there.
20 points to 12. Catalan Dragons lead. 17 minutes on the clock. Widnes have been able to keep pace with the Catalan Dragons throughout this game. It hasn't got away from them so far. They can't afford to allow Catalan to get more points on the board. 14 all it was on this ground last year when Widnes visited. 12-10 they won as well.
Out, time back on.
So they know they can meet fire with fire, but they're up against Braden Williame, and Williame almost in at the corner. Good defence from Widnes on that occasion. Ince and Marsh doing the trick, but then Drinkwater tries to burst through, and Albison makes the tackle. McAlorum fancies his chances. Short ball, and Edwards gets his first try for his new club, and Catalan are on a roll now, and Widnes maybe are feeling the strain of going toe-to-toe with the Catalan Dragons.
Lovely skill from Josh Drinkwater, backed himself. He's actually quite furious at his runners for not being there, but with one defender on the ground. McAlorum reads that beautifully. Great response from Kenny Edwards to charge onto that ball. Tremendous team try. They driven to the corner by William with a great run. Kenny Edwards, lovely power. That'll give him great confidence, a great feeling to be running off his hooker like that. Yes, it is a great feeling. He's really enjoying that. Back to his teammates to celebrate, and they know that they've got some momentum now. Providing William can catch the next kickoff, they'll be charging downfield and be ready for some more momentum inside this ball game. As you can see, jogging back together, assuming nothing. Let's get back, get our heads on, keep their eye in the game.
Catalan going into this game having won 6 of their last 7 in all competitions, and it looks as though this good form is going to continue now, because Widnes definitely on the ropes, and quick fire tries from Castille and now from Kenny Edwards coming off the bench have put Catalan in a strong position in this game. And how good a signing is Michael McAlorum proving to be. There's never any doubt that he would be an inspired signing.
And his combination with this goal kicker here. Josh Drinkwater, important one.
Drinkwater to extend Catalans lead. This time he is on target. 26-12.
Yeah, it's the fact that Drinkwater throws the dummy, so creates that little bit of space. Defender on the ground. McIlaurin reads that. He has to run from there. Edwards reads it beautifully. When the players are feeding off Drinkwater and McIlaurin together, I will say that Greg Bird at standoff hasn't been the standout player you'd think would want to be behind those two, so they'll need some combination out of that. That's one area that I'd like to see improve going forward. It's not a natural standoff, we all know that. It certainly adds power to him. It's not going to go.
The restart hasn't gone 10 for the Widnes Vikings. And that's going to cause more problems for them. Yeah, Greg Bird in that standoff role, but Steve McNamara is saying ahead of this game that really the way the side has been performing, he's reluctant to change things. Samisoni Langi is fit and knocking on the door, but they've been getting the wins.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with agreeing with that. I agree with that. The back guys have been really powerful driving forward. The forwards have been playing very dominant. Hasn't found touch. It's play on.
Another mistake though from the Catalan Dragons, just when it looks as though they've got things under control, they come up with something like that. If it's not the restart, it's a kick to touch.
Release. 2 back.
Bird and McIlaurin. There is Francis Cummings, first view of the new Widnes Vikings coach, taking over from Dennis Betts after his long association with the club came to an end.
Remy, you're off. Side by side.
Now then, can Widnes find something in the last 15, 14 minutes of this game? Can they dredge up some energy, some inspiration from somewhere to shake the Catalan Dragons' grip on this game? The 40-20 attempt. Gigot.
Okay.
And Gigot gathers the ball, hands it off to Fouad Yaha, who runs straight at Tom Olbison. No attempt to go round the approaching Widnes defender from Fouad Yaha. He's that sort of winger.
Go on.
The big man from Avignon, and they get a penalty.
Markers are side by side. Jordan, I've tried to tell you. I keep telling you.
You can see, if you look at that closely, both the Widnes players were stood side by side. Again, a clear, good call from the referee, who's
back up.
Chris Kendall, who's talked the players through this all game. So he said, look, I've tried to tell you, so listen, no, you won't listen to me, I penalise you. Again, terrific referee.
Here is Sam Moa now. Moa driving it in. It was his late shot on Joe Mellor in the round 1 game between these two sides that saw him sin-binned. Here is Casti. Craven making the tackle.
Hold. Go to.
McIlaurin, change of direction. Bird onto Drinkwater. Drinkwater takes the tackle. Olbison and Haraki doing the tackling for Widnes, but Widnes on the ropes here now. Gigo's short ball, but again they managed to hold him out to Widnes. Getting in a bit of a tangle there, the Catalan Dragons. Kenny Edwards, Yaha, Drinkwater. Well, nobody really interested in this one. Here is Busquet on one leg.
5. Movement.
That's the 5th tackle. Maybe 1 point, maybe not. Bird, little dink kick. And Mead has collected that. The ball's been lost, I beg your pardon. It was a Widnes player who pounced on it in the end, and it's Hanbury. So they can counter from here, but they've got a long way to go and not much time. Bird. Dominant's the word there. Here's Patrick Arvan.
The defensive lead for the Catalan side's definitely Malcolm McIlaurin. He's been outstanding at both grabbing some line speed when really needed, coming into second and third man. He's been very powerful. You can see, over halfway through the season, he's just starting to have that influence they want on this Catalan side in their performance. The toughness of Bird is noticeable as well, isn't it? The typical standoff touches aren't there, but his beautiful toughness is.
Craven, little chip kick over the top. Still on the last. Oh, there's a man taken out off the ball. That's going to be another penalty. That could be another sin binning.
Josh.
There'll definitely be a sin bin.
Josh, calm down.
Let's listen.
Calm down.
Great break. Craven's kick. Fuad Yaha just going across and taking Jordan Johnston out.
Element of dive in that, isn't there? I don't like seeing that. Jordan Johnson, stay on your feet, you catch the ball, you score a try. There's my opinion. He was touched, it is a penalty. The strictest letter of the law. Let's have a look at number 21 on the inside. There's no way that had that effect. He needs to keep himself on his feet, take that pass and keep running forward.
I said Fuad Yaha.
Explain it to Remy.
Was it Tony Gigot?
Remy! No, Greg, it's just the captain.
Reece Hanbury is the man who's needing treatment, meanwhile. Yeah, it had to be, didn't it?
The penalty is against your man pulling back in back play. It's not the man on the ground, it's the pull back in back play. It's going to be a penalty.
It is a penalty. It won't be a sin binning.
Pull back.
Be good in a game of charades, wouldn't he, Chris Kendall?
Okay, mate.
Very clear. So, Widnes with the penalty, 11 minutes on the clock. Can they find a way back into this game? And making the most of a breather here.
There, Remy, wait there.
Catalan looking for the win that would take them up onto the shoulder of the Huddersfield Giants. The Giants, of course, with a big win for their new coach at Leeds on Friday night.
Hold, go on.
They're in form as well. Fascinating battle between maybe those two sides, really, to get out of the bottom four. For Widnes, it's a tall order.
Hold.
And defeat here in Perpignan will make it even tougher.
Third.
But they're not
back. Kenny.
Dead and buried yet. McGrath Luluai plays the ball. Jordan Johnston, Mellor, Albison looks at McGrath Luluai, and then the pass doesn't quite connect. But Whitley will try and salvage the situation. Catalan having to defend now.
Go 4.
4 tackles gone. Here is Wella Haraki. Haraki tackled by Drinkwater.
Last go.
Marsh, Mellor's kick will be crucial here. No, they run it on. The pass goes behind Albison. Albison tries to keep it alive. Still on the last, the referee says. And Haraki, little grubber kick from him into touch, and Widnes just scrambling there. Panic mode. And Catalan head and feet at the scrum.
That was great pressure. Apologies for a bit of language you can hear in the background there, but great defence from the Catalan side there. The last tackle, tired, as you can see, they're tired. They're putting good habits in themselves here. They really are ahead on the scoreboard, but not being complacent. They need to do these things to take themselves into the 8. These are the little effort areas they need to keep working on. And Widnes, to be really honest, have really struggled to go with those little effort areas, particularly through long stages in the game.
Mate, yeah, just get rid of that ball, please.
I think that was, in the background, a tribute to the Catalan Dragons defence that we heard with expletive, but it was a good defensive stint from the Catalan Dragons. Sam Moa, his contribution to the Catalan Dragons, as ever, robust, you'd have to say.
Out, time back on.
So Catalan with Tony Gigot. Gigot gets away from the first challenge. Eventually Farnworth makes the tackle on the Catalan fullback. Here is Lewis Tierney. Tierney enjoying a good run. He made his Wigan debut back in 2013 as against the Widnes Vikings. He was fullback in a victory. Now here he is playing for the Catalan Dragons, having had his loan move made permanent. Lewis Tierney on the halfway line. Benjamin Garcia. Here is Greg Bird, proud New South Welshman, happy New South Welshman after the Origin win. He made 18 Origin appearances, did Greg Bird. Here come the Dragons once more with Garcia looking for the try. Mellor appealing for the knock-on. Makilorum, Drinkwater, little grubber kick. This time Craven gets it and manages to stay in the field of play despite Kenny Edwards' challenge. But Catalan just want to be there at this end of the field.
Go. 2.
He just got himself in two minds that time, Josh Drinkwater, because he could sense in himself that the pass was on. I think he probably told the way the runners were running, told them he's going to go for it. Okay, here's an error.
Harvan has lost the ball.
0-0.
And Catalan have it back. Bird kicks into the corner. Too strong. They'll come back for the original knock on.
Time off. Cheers, Gareth.
The second row is Julien and Garcia with a big tackle on Patrick Harvan, and Benjamin Julien with the scars to prove it. Interesting to hear your view on Josh Drinkwater, that maybe he doesn't back himself as much as he could.
Yeah, just at times when you watch him in training, and actually as he matures, he tends to do that a little bit more, but he tends to listen to the senior players a real lot and really ask of them what they wanted all the time. And you think, Josh, you're the number 7, it's your team, you can go out and do what you like with it. And he's a really strong guy, lovely guy, really good thinker of the game. I think he's actually got a lot of expression in his game, and sometimes the way the game's played now is very structured, and I used to think to myself that didn't suit him, and just sometimes when I coached him I thought I put a little bit too much structure around him. I should let him go a little bit more at times, but I do enjoy the way I'm looking at him now, that he's really looks like he owns this team a lot, which is great for him. Here's a real chance.
Here's Gigot trying to take him on. The ball is picked up by Tierney. It went backwards, says the referee. Tierney swats aside Jeremiah's challenge. All going Catalan's way now with 7 minutes on the clock. Here is Bird. He's never going to step his way through, is he, Greg Bird?
His strength is offload. He sort of beats people with feet, and then he can really get a good offload away.
Ball back to Mead. Mead is held. It was Olbison who got a hold of a foot that did a crucial job for Widnes there, but McIlorum serves it up, but this time it's behind them all, and Louis Anderson eventually gets a hold of it. Sloppy from the Catalan Dragons. Interestingly, Josh Water has been in for the Drinkwater has been in for the last 6 games. They've won 5 of those. Well, it'll be 7 now, and 6 wins, with the clock counting down. 4 tackles still as Mead takes them on. Michael McIlorum's had a similar influence. There he is as he puts the grubber kick in. Was that a little knock on? Jordan Johnston seemed to get a hand to it. Not so, says the referee.
Now this isn't good enough from Catalan at the moment. That was a terrible set of 6. I noticed when Patrick Harvan dropped that ball, if you remember it, but now they're offside, the discipline's away. Mickey McIlorum just towed it, no interest from the ground, rather than picking it up and staying intense, was what you'd have to do if it was a really intense game. Greg Bird just threw one to the corner for no reason, no vision, and they've just lost their way in terms of discipline and high performance. And those habits are not what you want to do when you're trying to put every minute into your performance, because it's going to come back and haunt them in the weeks ahead if they're not careful.
Surrender!
Yeah, they've got some big games coming up, and of course they've got a cup semi-final against St Helens.
Go on.
A few weeks away yet. Games against Huddersfield and Leeds. Huddersfield game's going to be big for the Catalan Dragons. Leeds game. Widnes, maybe their focus is going to be on what lies ahead in the qualifiers. That ball looked on its way to Harvan, but then finds touch. Just going back to the contribution of Michael McIlorum. He's been in for the last 11 games, and they've won 7 of those. Be 8 now from 12.
Yeah, and he's building, his performance really building. You can see the players are reading him. Some of those tight balls for try, when they seize a single marker or a loose ruck in the opposition defence, they know that McIlorum sees it, so they start responding with him. Remember, Josh Drinkwater came in when Luke Walsh was injured in the early part of the season, so it's been a player that they would have had a lot of faith in going into the season. I really think Josh is actually up the ante from performance. I think he's really playing a lot better than the previous 7 was giving them.
Go on, Greg.
Widnes fans who must have thought early on that their side could continue this great recent run against the Catalan Dragons, having beaten them in round 1 so convincingly and then led 10-0 here, but Catalan, once they got into their stride, have dominated this game, and no debut win for the new Vikings coach Francis Cummins. Look at that from Sam Moa.
Hold.
Cannonball head. There was a cannonball run from the prop forward. Garcia, this Catalan pack have really taken it to Widnes, haven't they?
They really have, and there's a real template for them to remember there. I think, you know, the bench has been good there. We can see Louis Anderson charging hard. Come up with an error. That is an error.
Knock on, it's before the play the ball, so it's a scrum.
But it was a good effort error. I'm going to say they're probably contradicting what I said earlier, but at least they're trying to rip in a bit harder here. And you know, when Louis Anderson's making that error, he's trying to do it with some energy. Sam Moa has been really dominant, been really powering. Winning their charges there. Looks like Kenny Edwards.
Just on the mark, guys.
You can see from the feed there, the people are really respecting what these forwards are doing. The bench has been great. Sam Moa came back up for his second stint. It's been fantastic.
Back down, boys.
So there's something they really have got to work with going forward.
Okay.
Into the last 5 minutes, Widnes heading for a 9th consecutive Super League defeat. And maybe a second successive wooden spoon is looming for the Vikings. Unless they can build on some promising signs in this game and they can get people fit again. For so many players sitting back home in England, frustrated to be watching this as Fouad Yaha chases, touches down, claims the try. Might be a bit optimistic there.
Because of,
I think that is a try.
No try because of the grounding, or you think it's gone dead in goal?
Well,
okay,
no, he knows. When the player nods.
Time off. James, it's 0 tackle. Got no try.
Chris Kendall's inclination is to say no try, and that Fouad Yaha ran out of room as he chased his own kick ahead there.
Well, he said to the touch judge, he asked him, he said, have you got no try because of something earlier or because of the grounding? He said it's because of the grounding. But this time, I like what Josh Drinkwater's done there, and was that picking it up? That looked like...
Fouad Yaha's onside then.
He's definitely onside.
Again, it's a Drinkwater kick. Now then.
Try.
Said with confidence. Let's have a look. It's a try. James Child, probably his final contribution in this game. Well, still a couple of minutes to go, but he's going to be awarded this try for Fouad Yaha. His 4th of the season on his return to the side, having missed the last 6.
Mate, you did what I asked. You're in a great position.
Wonderful competing. Again, a lovely bit of thought. It's funny, the conversation we had a moment ago, we were talking about a turnover ball from an error, how Mickey McAlorum just towed it with a lack of interest. Benjamin Garcia picked the ball up. Wonderful effort. Great composure. That's a difficult try to score. That's great practice for what you do under pressure.
Cheers, Gareth.
Taken to 30 points, which is always great to feel. Josh Drinkwater there celebrating with him, knows that his kick is again. Another kick from him has set up a wonderful try.
But I'll tell you what impressed me. Chasing back was Jay Chapelhow. Big prop who scored the first try of the game. In fact, it seems ages ago now.
Bill, you're so right. It's been very, very gallant from Widnes. They've really given their all at it. They've been physically, the heat would be exhausting, an emotional week. They've really pushed themselves hard, and in a weird way they can be very, very proud of themselves.
And Drinkwater tags on 2 more points to what is ultimately an emphatic Catalan win.
This is what I was talking about before. Drop ball. Garcia's pass is critical. Picks it up and gives it straight to his playmaker's hand. Drinkwater doesn't kick it away. He kicks it to great position. And great try there from Yaha. But before, when we saw a ball like that, Mickey McAlorum just kicked it away and Bird just lobbed it in the corner. That's the difference. That's a great mindset. They learned from it. They take a lot more out of it. And then Bird, as a senior player, has been able to get the whole club responding to what's been a great effort area. Chance.
And McAlorum pounces. Well, Widnes did everything right there. They went for the short restart, batted the ball back, but it was Michael McAlorum loitering who picked that ball up. Here is Braden Williami, one of the Dragons try scorers when they started to turn this game around, and Drinkwater showing his footwork there. Gigot into the last minute, and Catalan maybe looking to crown this victory with more points.
4. Move!
As David Meads plays the ball, Tierney for Gigot, Moa, Bird, Drinkwater, not another kick to the corner. Fuad Yaha can turn that one into points. But Josh Drinkwater really pulling the strings.
It was the right option, wasn't it?
0.
So Widnes heading home, back on the plane this evening, having suffered another defeat. They'll remain bottom of the table. Catalan Dragons continue their revival after ultimately an impressive victory. 32 points to 12. The Dragons win.